And good evening and welcome. Happy New Year to everyone. This is our special New Year's 2-hour edition of The Way We See It. My name is Ralph Williams. Those of you new to the show, and my co-host Billy C. Bill Cannata. How are you, Billy?
I am doing well. Happy New Year, viewers and listeners. Thank you. And I'm so sorry I missed you guys a couple of weeks ago. A little under the weather. I want to wish my children, Mini Mooch the Mooch, and the Mexter a very, very happy New Year. I hope all is doing well. What's going on with you, brother?
Yeah, they're breathing that Florida air we were talking about.
Yes, they are. They definitely
are. You know it, man. There we go.
You didn't know? Your ass
better
better
call somebody. Call your friend. Call your cousin. Call somebody. Get them here. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. You know it. Tonight, we're here for 2 hours. It's a 2-hour New Year's special. It's New Year's Day 2024. And here is the very first Chinese wisdom for 2024. It's a dream will always triumph over reality once it is given a chance. So there you go. That's not a bad. And again, Bill, I just pulled it out of the hat because I got a whole bag of these things, and I just pulled it right out. I didn't even look. I didn't go through them or nothing.
That's all right.
So that's not a bad actual Chinese wisdom to start your New Year off with. So
especially what you were talking about me earlier. So absolutely.
Yeah. All right. The first hour, we're going to do our normal show. And then the second hour, we're going to talk about 2024. What does it do for you as a person? What does it do for you, for anyone out there? The comment section's wide open. Mailbag, Ralph Williams 737@gmail.com. I have a few of those. A lot of people missed us for the last 2 weeks, but we took off for the holidays. And now we're back. It's New Year's Day, and we're here. And don't forget to tune into my new show, Ralph's Opinion. I was on this morning at 11:30. Check it out on my YouTube channel, also on Facebook and Twitch and Twitter X platforms as well. Because I tell you what, I had some real interesting things to say this morning to get the year started. So but anyway, there we are with that. And the second hour, we want to know, what are you doing for 2024? And Bill, you're going to tell me some things, and I want you to tell me some things that you think people should do to improve 2024. Like, these ridiculous drivers out here and some of this other stuff that goes on. And I have some stuff too that I talked about earlier today on Ralph's Opinion that I think 2024 they need to stop doing. There's a lot of things going on around here in this country that they need to stop doing. All right. Our blast segment is brought to you by Sleep Pittsburgh, 412-462-7858. Sleep Pittsburgh, located on 8th Avenue in Homestead. Stop by, check out their inventory. They have no credit check financing, day beds, mattresses, bed frames, futons. They have kids' furniture for their rooms, bunk beds, anything you need sleep-wise, they have it and at the right price. And don't forget about the no credit check financing, 412-462-7858 and sleeppittsburgh.com. Check out their inventory. You can do all of the ordering and everything online and by telephone. So it's very convenient. Sleep Pittsburgh for the best sleep tonight. All right. Also, we're at First Line Consulting Services Studios, 1-877-926-6982. Call them today. You need a website put together. Do you need them to manage it? Do you need them to upload all your videos? They have one low monthly price, and they'll do it all for you. And how many people do that? Not many, but First Line Consulting Services does. So make sure that you call them today, 1-877-926-6982 or firstlineconsultingservices.com. Check them out for all the rates and all the different plans that they have to offer. Okay, Bill, let's get started with the blast segment. All right, I want to blast the house in Butler County. Guess what? Again, you ready? Abusing animals. I want to blast them again for abusing animals. This is ridiculous. The holiday season brought out a couple people who decided they were going to abuse animals. Now, this place had 50 animals, and get this: they had a bearded dragon, lizards, snakes, dogs, cats, And even a goat.
A goat.
Yeah, a goat. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. I mean, this place was really awful. I mean, this was bad. I think this was probably one of the worst I ever saw. All right, Bill, I'm sure you heard about this. Scott Township commissioners want to approve a 54% property tax rate. I'm blasting them tonight for this because you know what? This is disgusting. How
Ooh.
dare you put property taxes up 54%? And guess what they said it was for? Because they want to have luxury garbage pickup.
Okay, what's luxury about?
Luxury garbage. They want to make sure that they have the best garbage pickup around.
So
Who
what are you
cares?
gonna, wait a minute, what are you gonna pick it up in Lincolns and Cadillacs? Is that what they're gonna do? That's luxury pickup there.
Luxury.
Dang.
They want to make sure that they have the best refuse service there is.
Listen, that's luxury line in pockets is what the hell that is.
That's what that is. Yeah, exactly. Just like the 10-cent paper bag fee. That's
Whatever.
that's a tax. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. You know, some people were born at night, but not last night, right? So there you go. All right, next we're gonna blast the person or people who were behind the closing of Andy's barbecue stand and at the Bowser's restaurant in Beaver County. I want to tell you this. This barbecue stand has been around for 25 years, Bill. 25 years it was in the parking lot of Bowser's restaurant in Beaver Falls. Now get this. Or I'm sorry, Center Township. At Bowser's restaurant was in their parking lot. And somebody in their infinite wisdom, I guess maybe didn't like the family. Maybe they were jealous. I don't know. But I do know they ran them out. They told them they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that, they couldn't run a hose through the sink in the Bowser's restaurant. They had to have their own sink, they had to have their own bathroom. They couldn't make people like, for instance, if you're there at the truck stand and you know at the barbecue trucks or at the truck there, the food truck, and you want to get barbecue from Jeff's Barbecue, but you have to walk inside Bowser's to use the bathroom. That's fine. Some people don't have a problem with that, but somebody in the township did. And they told them they had to have a wash sink, they had to have all this other stuff, or they had to have they couldn't run their electricity through the restaurant, or they couldn't run their water through the restaurant, and they had to have all this and that. They made it so difficult for them that they couldn't afford to stay open anymore. So guess what? They had to close up. 25 years. And I'm blasting the politicians at Center Township for doing this.
25.
Why would you do this to these poor people? They've been around for 25 years, been a staple. Oh, let me guess. They didn't give you a discount on your barbecue meal? What's the problem? Why? Who's doing this? I want to know who's doing this. I want to know who the politicians are. I'm going to blast them. I don't know who it is that's doing it. I got this information from a source in Beaver County, and you know I have a source in Beaver County now. So you know they told me about what happened, and I'm blasting them tonight on this program because I think it's wrong what they did to Jeff's Barbecue in Center Township. Shame on you.
Absolutely.
U.S. Steel.
Uh-oh.
All right, I talked about this a few weeks back. I think Useless Steel is planning on selling out to Nippon in Japan. Nippon Steel. Okay. Now it's going to get probably boycotted, or there's going to be a petition circulating. I know our good buddy there, Mr. Sandals in shorts, John Fetterman, is getting involved. Bob Casey's involved. Your cousin's involved. Jay Costa and a bunch of people. I can't believe what I'm seeing. They can't get together to pass minimum wage, but they can get together to help Useless Steel. So I mean, but anyway, they're all getting together and they're writing letters. There's supposed to be some meetings. Jim Brewster, who represents the area in the Mon Valley, he's not happy, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't be happy either. I've had enough of U.S. Steel's lies in this town. They were supposed to put a new building up by the old Mellon Arena site, and they ended up laying an egg. First National Bank is putting their headquarters up there now. They've lied to this town for many years. Building new steel plants in Texas, Indiana, and some other places instead of putting them here where their corporate headquarters is. I think U.S. Steel, to be frankly honest with you, I don't really care what they do because they've lied so much to this town that I think that I wouldn't even care what they do. But I do feel bad for the people who work for them. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I don't blame the U.S. Steelworkers for being angry, because they're saying that Useless Steel is saying that Nippon is going to honor all contracts. I don't think that's probably true. Japanese steel people don't do that. I don't recall them doing that. So I'd be scared of this buyout anyway. I mean, I think what the politicians are doing is right, but I feel they need to get together as a group and worry about minimum wage too. So, all right. Two teachers in Greensburg at the Greensburg Salem School District in an elementary school for special kids abusing special needs kids, using tactics that they're not supposed to use for these kids. Tactics. Okay. I mean, I know they're hard to control. I mean, don't get me wrong. We know they're hard to control, but the certain tactics that they were using, you're not allowed to use. And they were doing that. I'm blasting them tonight for that because that's unacceptable. You don't do that to mentally challenged kids. If you couldn't handle the job, get out of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Agreed.
I would rather you get out of the job than to abuse kids like that. That's a shame, especially special needs kids. All right. The last segment's brought to you by Sleep Pittsburgh, 412-462-7858. Give them a call today, Sleep Pittsburgh, for the best sleep tonight. All right, we're in the First Line Consulting Services Studios, 1-877-926-6982. Our next segment is brought to you by Draft412.com. Draft412.com is a comprehensive website that talks about the drafts, the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, the baseball draft. They give you all the skinny on all the different players. Now, if you want more information, you can subscribe to their e-magazine at $9 a month, and they will put it in your inbox every month. It's I tell you what, it's the most affordable information you'll ever find if you want to know about drafts, especially in sports. Draft412.com. They also have some numerous podcasts you might want to check out as well. But get on their website, draft412.com, $9 a month, draft412.com. All right, next is our bonehead segment here. We only got a few this time around, Bill. It was a little pretty quiet, but we still have a few. All right. And guess what? Another person tried to bring a gun in right before the end of the year at the airport. Not once, but twice. Two different people. So guess what? PIA has the record for that now. The record in this country. Huh? How about that? 45 guns this year. Or is this
Look, they could have a nice little auction to go ahead and get some money back.
No, they do auction guns off, I think. When they have that big county auction and they auction off everything at the airport?
Yes.
The stuff people leave behind. Did you see some of that stuff?
Oh, my gosh.
Jewelry, computers.
Bikes,
bike.
Yeah, all kind of stuff.
Yeah, cars. People leave their cars in a park. Dogs.
Oh, gosh.
I don't mean to laugh at that. That's not funny.
No, but these people.
I know. This year they left dogs, and the one county cop lieutenant said, "I've been a county cop out here for 30 years, and I've never in my life ever seen what I've seen this year with them two dogs." Oh my gosh! One tied to a pole and another one in a baby stroller, or whatever. Yeah. Just left them there at the airport. Didn't care. Just left them there. I mean,
55. That's a
55. 55.
All righty then.
55, 45.
Oh, 45.
Yeah. But that's still the record. I mean, LaGuardia and LAX and all the two Chicago airports and the two New York airports and the two DC airports don't even have this problem. I mean, but we have this problem. I don't know if, but now our state legislature is coming up with a law that stricter laws that you will actually lose your gun permit. And there's some other stuff that you'll pay a federal fine, so please don't put them in front of a progressive judge.
I was just getting ready to say, brother, they'll slap them on the hand, give them back their piece, and out the door they'll go.
All right, here's a boneheaded move here. The Rivers Casino, the manager at the Rivers Casino who stole $20,000 from his cashier bank. That's a boneheaded move. What, did you think that the cameras weren't working or something? Is that what you thought? I mean, oh my gosh, these people are so desperate for money. It's terrible. All right, Spirit Airlines. A Spirit Airlines employee who was supposed to put a 6-year-old child on a flight to Fort Myers ended up putting them on the flight to Orlando by themselves.
Oh man. Right church, wrong pew, baby.
That's right. That's right. They put them on the Orlando flight instead of the Fort Myers flight. And the
Oh,
mother was
Jesus.
furious because she had to drive. I don't know what it is from Fort Myers to Orlando. I don't live in Florida. I don't know.
Is it 4? I think it's 4 hours, maybe
Yeah,
5.
she had to drive 4 hours to go get the kid. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, it's
No.
funny about the way it happened. I mean, it's terrible.
What an
You know.
idiot.
All right, the Butler County pastor accused of sexual misconduct. What a boneheaded move. Another one.
Oh,
You know, church is supposed to be a safe place, Billy. I don't know.
supposed to.
You know,
Supposed
home, school, church. Supposed to be
Yeah,
safe
well,
places.
it's all rocky road now, brother.
Oh, I know it is. All right, our next segment is our ridiculousness, brought to you by Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Your furnace probably needs some help here. Wintertime is here. Don't take any chances. Call. You ought to call Mata today, 724-201-0500. Ask for Bill and tell him you heard it here on The Way We See It. All right. Next is our ridiculousness. All right. Get this here. A China buffet in China now, okay, was open for 2 weeks because you want to know why they ended up closing up?
Rodents.
No, too many people eating too much food.
Oh my gosh.
And get this, they had a rewards program. So what do you think people are going to do? You know, it has 10 buffets, and and you get the little stamp or whatever, right? You go and you have your 11th for free. So they were in there eating away at their 10 buffets, and when they got the free one, I didn't think Chinese buffets existed in China. Them people don't eat like that.
That's too funny. It's like contradicting yourself. Open up and have an all you can eat and then kick people out. No.
Well, they didn't kick them out. They just, it's ridiculous because the people were eating so much of the food that it cost them more money to stay open than it did. And then they had that rewards program or whatever.
That's what I'm talking about. The rewards program.
Oh, man.
Let's pay for 10 and eat the 11th free.
What they used to have 10 buffets at the, what was it? One of them places?
Golden Corral, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah.
Maybe? Was it? I don't remember.
Or the 10, what was it, 10 cup of coffees at Sheets or something? Oh my. All right. Let's see here. We're having so much fun. It's great for the new year, All right, let's see here. All right, the manager at this restaurant, all right, who was sending emails to or derogatory texts to a woman whose child was on life support, and he got fired. That's ridiculous. He got fired. Okay, because he was sending derogatory text messages to this woman who worked for him. Well, the manager got fired. He was sending it to the employee because her son was on life support. I guess he was making fun of her or whatever he was doing. That was wrong. That's ridiculous. A guy, all right, who let's see. Okay, here we go. A guy, no, you'll like this one. Clogs the toilet at a rental company. Clogs the toilet. And this is the ridiculous part of this, Bill. You ready? The employee at the rental company chased him down and dragged him back to the rental place and made him clean it and unstuff it. The employee chased him with a plunger and actually made the employee come back and clean it up and unstuff the toilet and clean the bathroom. I would have sued that. I would have sued that rental car company because you know what? Once I leave that facility, that's not my problem. Right? That's not my problem, man. I mean, oh my gosh, that's not my problem. Oh, all right, here's here's some real ridiculousness here. State police reported for Pennsylvania for this holiday season. Are you ready? 198 DUI arrests and 404 crashes. 404 crashes and 198 DUI arrests. That's
Well,
for this holiday season.
they definitely weren't joking around, brother, because I went up to New York, and
Oh,
before before I got to 79, I was still on the turnpike. They had 3 state police cruisers off to the side with 3 individuals apiece. Each one had a car.
Well, state police was on 28 by Harmer.
Oh, were they?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, big time on Friday when we were coming back from that funeral.
Okay.
And then we went to the Mills Mall to eat
Okay.
at the Olive Garden, and we were coming back, and yeah, they were on the left-hand side there. Where they used to sit all the time. And then they were up by RIDC Blawnox. They were up there on that part, right there in that little. And when we were going outbound to go to the funeral, they had people pulled over on the inbound side.
Yeah.
And then when we were coming in, they were sitting on the outbound end. So I mean, it was, yeah, they were heavily patrolling 28 that day. So that's, I mean, I would suspect the highways were jammed up with them everywhere. And if you're going out towards Erie, you know how you go past that one part where all those pine trees are there? You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly. I've seen them.
Okay. Yeah, right there they sit. Because on my GPS, when I had my GPS, when Rhonda and I first started going out to Erie, we went by there and the GPS said, "Be careful, speed trap," and it flashed it up, and we went by there, and there was one on one side, one on the other of 79. So right in between where those pine trees are, them huge set of them there,
Gotcha.
That's at, but yeah.
I know. I've seen them.
All right, our key topics are brought to you today by P6 Auto Detailing in New Kensington. Call them today. Get your year started off right. Get your car cleaned out and detailed. 412-965-6578. Let the professionals at P6 Auto Detailing detail your car. All right. Our key topics today, Bill. We're going to start off with Sarah Almirado. Tomorrow's the big day. She gets sworn in as our new county executive here in Allegheny County. I've made my feelings known about this, that I feel that I'm going to give her an opportunity. That's as far as I'm going to go. All right, we're going to see what she does. I'm for chances, giving somebody an opportunity. I'm going to see what she's all about. And I'm hearing stories now that she's not the progressive everybody thought she was. She's a 50% moderate and a 50% progressive. And I heard she leans more towards the moderate. So, which means some of these progressive people who think that this woman is strictly progressive, I'm told you're wrong. I made some phone calls, talked to a few people that's working with her transition team. They told me she's a moderate more than she is a progressive. So we're going to find out what she does. She's only 37 years old. First woman politician in the history of this county to be the county executive. What are your thoughts, Paul?
Well, just like you said, brother, you can't judge the book by the quickest cover anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely have to see what she's all about, see how much she's going to shake her own ground, if, in fact, and see what she's abiding by. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just can't say, oh, well, she's 100%. Like you said, you did your homework.
I did my homework. Yeah, I checked into her, and I found out that she's not the progressive everyone thinks she is.
So let's see what goes on with what she's about going on. Let's see.
Absolutely.
That's the best you can do. Let these people do what they got to do. They got a job to do it. Let them see what they got to do and see how well they do it. See where they're going with it.
She might be personable. She said she wants to make us a county for everyone.
Well, let's see.
So let's see what she does. There's reports out there. Well, now tomorrow she gets sworn in. It's time to put up or shut up, which means you said you're going to do something, do it. You know what I mean? Don't, what part of your campaign promises are you not going to do? Like
exactly.
Exactly. Something to mention on this program today. So
we shall see. Let's see what goes on.
All right. Let's talk today on one of our key topics, Bill. And we've been talking about homelessness for a while. I saw a report last night about Denver, Colorado. You want to know how they're curbing it? They have different districts of town, and they're putting tiny houses. They're called tiny houses, and they're building like a homeless community, and they're called tiny houses, and they have outdoor showers, what they call portable showers. And they said they built the houses in the camps based on how many they have in homeless people. Now, Pittsburgh, according to what I've been told, only has 400 homeless people. Okay, you want to know how many they have in Denver?
2,000.
Well, no, well you're close. They have
Really?
800. Well, no, you're not close. They have 800.
800.
And then they said by the end of the year, they ended up with 1,000.
Wow.
Okay. So there's a district there in this, I guess, like Pittsburgh, they're all boiled down into different districts for council purposes. And the District 8 has the most camps of all the districts around Denver. And what they do is they build these tiny houses. You can put 10 people, 20 people in one little house. And they go out to a separate building for showers, laundry facilities, and all that stuff. And they house them there in these little tiny little camp houses. Now, our city council is still fighting over where to put these damn things that we're planning on doing here. Okay. The question I have for everyone out there is, you live in the city of Pittsburgh. Do you approve of these people being in your neighborhood? And if I'm you, I would say no. I don't want them nowhere near downtown Pittsburgh. They've already caused enough problems. All right. And now I'm hearing stories. And again, I don't know if it's true. We can talk about this later about how secure, how it's so great downtown now. It's safer now than it's ever been. And I don't want to hear no excuses, because that's not the case. All right. But anyway, as far as the homeless people go, now I'm hearing city councils fighting over where to put these people. I proposed, and I already made a proposal, that I think they should put them up in the Highland Drive VA site. The city owns that. They paid $1 for it back in 17. They've done nothing with it. They were supposed to put $500,000 into fixing the buildings up for training purposes up there. To put in the fire, police training, paramedic training, all that's going up there. They were supposed to put police headquarters up there. They just decided to sign a 5-year lease on the building on the north side, and they want to keep it over there now. Okay. So what's your thoughts, Bill, on all this?
Well, it's a stable ground, up at the Highland VA. I agree with you 1,000% on that, brother, because it's the facility's already built. And even if they were to go ahead and take and put the cops and everything up there, but now I see that they're not, they would still have a lot of land up there. That facility up there is got everything up there that they would ever need. They would have showers in there. They would have coverage and all that stuff. And it's already built. And if it's already paid for, why not utilize that? That's just utilized. You're just wasting it away up there. There's a lot of land up there. There's a lot of land.
They took $500,000 that they had allocated to fix the buildings up there for what they were going to use it for, and they moved it somewhere else. So it's just sitting up there now.
So now it's just totally vacant. There's nothing up there now. And all except is the VA is the hospital still up there? The place for the
the nursing home or the residence facility still there. Yeah.
Okay, so that's still there. Okay. I didn't know if
that's the one on the right hand side before you make that left.
Exactly.
In there. Up where Schumann and Job Corps and all that is up there.
Yes, and I didn't know if that was still there or not. So I mean, look, all that land back there, man, they really need to do that. I mean, that would be so much settled. I mean, the situation, and then maybe possibly with all that, maybe possibly that years ago, I remember they used to have a bus route up there too.
Yeah, they did. They had the bus going up there. Yes, I'm not sure if I don't think they do anymore. They used to have the one bus, the 74 used to go up there, because I used to drive it when I worked for Port Authority out of East Liberty.
Okay.
I used to drive the 74 up there. It went up there.
Now I know the reason why.
I don't know if it still does or not. I don't know who goes up there anymore. So.
Now I know the reason why that they excluded that was because when Port Authority went through their thing and they were losing drivers and
everything. Yeah.
So I mean, I know that would probably not be even an option for a bus to be rerouted up, or maybe even just a special bus
up there. So I mean, that takes those kids up to Job Corps. That's still up there.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, But the bus doesn't run up there no more, so they have to get up there on
I
their
don't
own.
think it does. I'm not sure. I don't know what goes if it still goes up there or not. I have to take a look at the 74 route. I do remember that used to be the route that went up there because I used to drive it, so I knew that was one of the routes that went up there. I think they had maybe a multitude of them that did,
I
but
mean,
I'm not
there's
sure
still
if
stuff on what is that, the Larmer Avenue over there and Lincoln Avenue. The buses still go that way.
Yeah, the Lincoln bus still goes there. Yeah, and the 74 goes through parts of Leamington, and again, I think it still does. Goes through Larmer, and it goes right around the side streets. It doesn't go downtown, and then it
Okay,
goes all the way up to Squirrel Hill. So,
I
I
got.
mean, it's a long route, but it stays out of downtown. So that's what it does.
I got you.
All right. Yeah, like I said, and then also, City Council wants to make themselves have a 7% raise, and the mayor still says they're only going to get a 3% raise. And I don't think City Council deserves a raise. What do you think?
I'm going to take the fifth on that, brother. It's a
I
whole
don't
new,
think they deserve a raise. Do you?
no,
No.
they don't.
They created what? No plastic bags. You got to pay it what 10 cents for a paper bag now.
Every time you turn around,
Yeah,
they're taking things away, and
they're taking
they're
stuff. Yeah,
yeah, and they're making you
you're
to
right. Do
pay
more.
for all.
Yeah. Well, look
Yeah.
at the
So
rubbish now.
what's that?
Check out what they want to do now for garbage in the city of Pittsburgh. You got to take your boxes and you got to wrap them up now and put
Oh,
them out in a bundle. You can't, and then your recycling. You're not allowed to
yeah.
put them in bags. You have to put them in a blue bin. Every property owner has to have a blue bin,
Well,
and
what
you have to
happened?
put a blue
What
bin.
happened? I was getting ready to say. So they still do the recycling. So that means you can still put your cardboard out on the recycling day, or do you have to?
Right, but it can't be scattered all over the place. You have to bundle it up. It has to be
No
bundled
kidding.
and flattened. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
it has to be bundled and flattened. So the cardboard, and they said if it's a mess around your property, they're going to give you a fine
Wow.
because they showed some nasty looking properties, Bill, with some cardboard boxes sitting out there and trash just sitting right out in these properties and not cleaned up properly.
Oh,
And they said they're going to start going after some of these people.
I
But
can
I
imagine.
but that's the new rules now. You can't put your recyclables in a plastic blue bag anymore. You just put them in separate in a blue bin. And now the trucks are coming, and I guess they have one of them little lower things. They pull the bin up like waste management and put it right into the truck. You
Yes.
know, Yeah, I
Yes.
think they're doing that now. Either that, or they're still dumping them, but they're not using the blue bag. You're not allowed to use the blue bags anymore. So you have to actually go out and get a blue bin and put it in a blue bin. That's the new rules now.
Well,
The
didn't
city
didn't
are-
I thought before I got out of there, the city gave us blue bins.
Yeah, I think the ones that they did give blue bins too, but I think now you either have to call the city to get one or you have to go buy one on your own.
Oh
So,
wow. Okay.
yeah. So, but
Because
they're
they were
requiring you now to put it in individually inside the bin without the blue bag.
because they gave us two per property for whatever reason. That's what they decided to do. We had
Decided to do.
yeah,
Right.
we had two blue bin garbage bags, garbage bins, two blue bin garbage for the recycling. So I mean, I should just say recycling instead of just the garbage because it's not. But yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know all that, brother. That's yeah, yeah. No, they
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we are again, Bill. Juveniles causing problems at Monroeville Mall. Here we
oh,
go.
here we go. Here we go.
Another shooting and some kids causing problems during the holidays at Monroeville Mall. Cops were called in, state police, SWAT team, or whatever. They were chasing these kids down. I want to know this: what happened to that little police station they were supposed to have in there to stop this stuff? That was going on for a little while, and then I guess it must have quit because it took, for what I understand, the police a little while to get there and do whatever they had to do, to stop these kids. They were running all over the mall, causing problems, stealing, doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Wasn't it, but they originally had police on foot in those malls, or did they not have that no more? I haven't been at a Monroeville Mall in a long time.
Gosh, I can't. I can't. I think I met a guy once for a gig at the food court. Okay, that's the last time I was there, and that had to be about 10 or more years ago. Okay, that's the last time I physically was inside the mall. All right.
It's
Uh,
definitely
so,
so long.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yes, and I was told that the Boscov's closed up. They were supposed to put a Walmart there. That never happened. Then and then the mall has been plagued with this violence from these juveniles. They were supposed to put a police substation in there. I don't even know if it was still in there or not. It appears it wasn't. But from what I understand, over the last 2 or 3 years, they haven't had any problems in there since after COVID. I
I
mean,
got,
so I guess maybe they might have taken it out of there based on the fact that, and now all of a sudden they got caught with their pants down, with this, and now it's back again at juveniles in Monroeville Mall causing problems, fighting, stabbing, shooting, whatever they're doing, robbing, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's another, black eye from Monroeville Mall, so
yeah.
and it's sad. It's a good mall. They used to have an ice skating rink in there, and it was really nice there. There was movies filmed there over the years, and
Yes.
it's been, it's just been, they got a real nice outside portion now. That's outside. Shops and stuff that looks pretty nice. But I haven't been inside in a long, long time, and I didn't hear any more incidents until this last one. 7 juveniles were fighting and causing problems and stuff. So
I mean, even there, I mean, just even what did they feel that they had to even at the playing field? Is that what it was?
yeah,
You
yeah, I guess I don't know.
you know, because like I
Well,
said, I
we live in a copycat world, Bill.
oh,
Think about that.
of course, no, I
7
know that.
juveniles do it there, they got to do it at Westmoreland Mall. 7
Absolutely,
juveniles do it there, they got to do it at Beaver Valley Mall.
I got
7
you,
juveniles do it there, they got to do it at Ross Park Mall.
got you. Yeah.
But
Well,
Ross Park Mall and places like that, they're not taking that abuse anymore. I mean, I was up in the waterfront. That they have their own police force down there now.
oh,
So oh yeah, they got their own police force down there because nobody wants to work together down there. Homestead, Munhall, West Homestead, Whitaker, or whatever the portion of the mall is theirs, and that's it. And they
okay.
won't help each other out. They didn't hire more police when they opened it or nothing.
Well, I wasn't like I thought this was a while ago, but probably not. But I heard through the grapevine that when they were thinking about doing that with the police down there, that they were actually going to take cops from Duquesne, West Mifflin, and all that other stuff. So is that it, or did they have their own little private police force?
They have their own little private police force down there now. They were
Okay,
forced to do that
okay,
because, like I said, I used to know people who worked at Steak and Shake down there, and they told me the dining room was split in half. If you sat on one side of the dining room, you were in Munhall. If you sat on the other side of the dining room, you were in Homestead.
okay.
So if you were in a fight and you were on the Munhall side, you had to wait for Munhall police to come because Homestead wasn't coming
I
unless it
see.
was on their side. And for some strange reason, I don't know why they never worked together with that mall. And it's split up in 4 different sections. You have West Homestead, Munhall, Whitaker, or whatever, and whatever sections there. It's like it's the same with the emergency. There was a manager I knew at that Steak and Shake. He told me he worked there, and he said he had a guy that was having a heart attack. And Munhall or VF or volunteer fire department or whoever, their paramedics had to come. West Homestead wouldn't come, or none of the other ones. It makes no sense to me at all. I mean, none.
Especially
So
when it comes down to something like that, and you're going to save somebody's life, you got to wait for this person or that person. So what happens if
like
the
the Roeville Mall, that's near Wilkins Township. I don't understand why Wilkins Township don't do something with that. I mean,
So if he
I
was
don't.
having a heart attack, what happens if he fell on one side of Homestead and one side on West Mifflin side?
Yeah,
So what they got to do? Bring both of those down there?
yeah. I guess I don't know.
That's
I don't know how it worked, but it was crazy. It was
that's
nuts.
that's sad, brother.
It
That's
was just the way the building was built. I mean, But I mean, they are merging some police departments down there. They're putting, I think, Whitaker, Rankin, East Pittsburgh, Braddock, and North Braddock, I think, and a few other departments together. They're making a Mon Valley. It's supposed to start this year. They have to get the officers trained and all that. It's supposed to start this year,
got you.
especially after Rankin's chief just died. He
Oh,
died.
that's right. I did
Yeah,
hear that. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
yeah. We'll see where that goes with that. All right, back from the blast segment. Scott Township wants to raise their property tax 53% for some Cadillac refuse collection.
that's yeah.
top-notch refuse collection.
They're going to come in tuxedos soon.
Yeah, they're gonna come in a suit from Goodwill or something, and they're gonna come and pick up your garbage. Yeah. I'm paying for the Cadillac of refuse in Scott Township. There you go.
Lincolns and Bentleys, and come on out
Yeah.
there in little tuxedos.
Hey, you know what though? That's a black eye on that community because it is actually a nice, safe community, Scott Township.
Maybe take your garbage show. Give me the Grey Poupon.
Pardon me. Would you happen to have any Grey Poupon? What was that one? Polana all fruit. Would you please pass the jelly?
Yeah,
You passed the Polana all fruit. Oh my gosh.
That's it. That's all. Okay. I just, yeah, somebody's patting their pockets pretty deep and pretty good.
Oh, something's going on. No, you know what it is. Politicians probably want to raise down there. So in order to do that, they got to raise property taxes 54%. Can you imagine paying for that living in Scott Township? I'd move out. I'd sell my house and be gone. I'd be like, see you later.
That's a lot. I mean, come on, man. That's man.
Well, that's one of the reasons why for the last 5 years, every year, it's been close to 12 to 13,000 people have left Allegheny County because of stuff like that.
Yeah. The little subsidies like that, like Scott Township, Shaler Township, things of that nature and so forth. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, that's not fair. All right, let's talk about Andy's Barbecue. I'm pissed about this. I don't live out in Beaver County, but I do go to Beaver County on Tuesdays to do my Sports Corner show at Beaver County Radio. And I found out in Center Township, there's this place there called Bowser's Restaurant. Been there for years. Okay. And Bowser's Restaurant, outside in their parking lot, they let a guy who owns a barbecue truck. It's a food truck, and he serves barbecue. And his name is Jeff. And it's called Jeff's Barbecue. Been there for 25 years. Now, all of a sudden, Center Township, somebody, one of the politicians or the people, somebody, maybe they had a bad day there. Maybe somebody didn't get free food or something. I have no idea what this problem is, Bill, but it disturbs me to hear this, that this guy's been there, has great barbecue, and it complements Bowser's Restaurant. Okay. All right. I mean, you go to Bowser's, maybe you go inside to eat and then take some barbecue home, go out in the truck, and then, the truck, whatever, complements each other. And now all of a sudden, this guy's getting fined and it's so bad, it has to close up, and here we are, an opportunity, small business. I said this today, small business has no chance, no more, because here we are now being petty. And I don't know if this is politicians. I don't know if this is people who are screaming mad. That's just like a football coach who coaches a high school football team, and somebody on the board's kid plays on the team, and little Johnny doesn't get an opportunity to start. So what do you think his daddy's going to do, or mommy's going to do?
Of course.
To have the coach fired.
Yep.
And the coach brought you 30 championships, but you're going to have the coach fired over something silly like that. Well, here we are now. Close down Jeff's Barbecue. Nobody cares. Nobody, nothing. Jeff's Barbecue's had to close down at the end of the year because they couldn't afford to stay open anymore. A, lack of business. B, lack of business because of somebody in the township or the county that didn't want them there. Caused all kinds of problems, giving them violations for not having, I guess they were running an extension cord or a water hose or whatever, one of those big fire hoses into Bowser's Restaurant to get their water, and they didn't like it. There was no bathroom for nobody to go to the bathroom. You had to go in Bowser's to go to the bathroom. So I guess they with porta potties or something. I don't know. I mean,
but for 25 years, you mean tell me you're just going to get a bug up your ass now, and then with 25 years on all that stuff, and then just all of a sudden, just now, right now. Yeah, there's a graded, a shaded gray area right there, brother. Where, I mean that dude was there.
I'm wondering if there's politicians involved in this that maybe they didn't grease their palms. or
I
maybe
I would
certain politicians they didn't vote for, and
could
they
be.
said, "I'm going to screw you over" or whatever. I don't know. I can't say. Maybe they kicked their grandkid out. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't say what the problem is because I don't know what it is. But I do know that they were cited many times for some stuff, and they just can't afford to build these things
Well,
in
no.
order to comply with what they are. And they said, "Oh, you know what? We're tired of being harassed by the township or whatever. We're done. We're done. We're going out of business."
Yeah, I mean, like you said, small businesses, especially one owner, one building, and all that other stuff. And then all of a sudden, next
No,
thing
you
you know,
can't be in this parking lot, even though the parking lot's owned by Bowser's Restaurant, without a permit.
yeah, see something, yeah,
Things like that,
yeah,
and that's petty, and I just don't get it.
very, very much so. I would agree with you on that because all of a sudden, just
Yeah,
25 years you're there
you're there.
serving the community and all that other stuff. Then all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, they find him heavily so he can't pay it and he had to close up.
I would love to know who did this, and I want them on this program because I want us to eat them alive. Because you know what, this is unacceptable, and I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear, "Well, I didn't follow the law. It's not right. They don't have bathrooms." I don't want to hear it.
25 years. That's a come on.
That's what I'm saying. It's a long time, you know. And
Then-
now all of a sudden you want to make it hard for them, and now they have to close up.
Well, brother, I could tell you this: you probably ain't going to get your wish from the person who's behind all that because they're not going to come on here for sure.
Oh, they're
Period.
not going to come on here. No way.
Guarantee
They're
you that.
they're going to hide their faces, and
Guarantee.
shame. They should hide their faces in shame because
Very
they ought
much.
to be ashamed of themselves for doing this.
That's
I
just
mean, I've never eaten at the place, but
neither have I.
when I heard about this, I thought it was disgusting. And I thought you know what, we're going to talk about this because here's a small business that's been in business there for many years. And now all of a sudden you want to do this? I mean, there has to be motivation behind it. And I don't get it. I
Yeah,
would love to fly on that wall to find out who it is. Because I'm going to tell you what, I'd eat them alive on this program. And they know it.
it's sad. It's very sad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I got
maybe,
people now that are afraid to come on this program.
maybe if it maybe a couple of years or something like that, then all of a sudden I could see that. But 25 years, just all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, not a cloud in the sky, clear blue, just decided to find the hell out of them and get them shut down. Yeah, something's wrong, and somebody's behind that big time. The gray area that's never going to come to light, brother. That's the thing.
All right, that concludes our key topics for today. Our topic session, we have some regular topics we're going to talk about. foldandtravelmobility.com, 1-877-GOTFOLD. Call Fold and Travel Mobility today. Get your folding power wheelchair. Make your life better. If you're handicapped like I am, make your life better for yourself or for your friends or family. If you know someone that's hurting for one of these chairs, get their attention. Tell them to get a hold of Fold and Travel Mobility. Financing available. So no excuse not to go on and check out their selection. Talk to an expert either on the chat or call 1-877-GOTFOLD. That's 1-877-GOT-FOLD. Get a hold of them today. Fold and Travel Mobility. Make your life better like I have. foldandtravelmobility.com. All right. All right. Some general topics today. I got some bad news, as a wrestler once said. His thing was, I got some bad news. All right. Well, here we are. St. Maria of the Goretti Parish, which is the merged parish of Immaculate Conception, St. Joe, St. Lawrence,
Yeah,
and Holy Family in Bloomfield. Okay,
right.
Lawrenceville, sort of, so to speak, whatever you want to call it. Well, they closed up St. Joe's. They closed up Immaculate Conception up in Bloomfield. They tore down St. Lawrence. Okay. Yeah, UPMC bought it. They're putting up a facility there, Bill, a medical facility. Okay. So anyway, they go ahead, they tear down St. Lawrence, and they do all this. Well, now Jennifer Ankowiak, who happens to be the person in charge from the diocese of doing this, decides in her infinite wisdom with the bishop that merged the church now into St. Augustine, okay, down in Lawrenceville. All right. So now Our Lady of the Angels, which is the upper Lawrenceville and all that, the 10th Ward part and all that, those churches, they're going to take and merge them together. And they're going to be called St. Pio of the Petrelli.
Whew. So all those churches, they're going to merge them all into one.
Or all into one congregation. Yeah. They were split into two. Okay. It was St. Maria the Goretti and Our Lady of the Angels. Now they're taking them and putting them together. And they're going to congregate at, I guess, that church, the old St. Karen's down there in Lawrenceville, and St. Augustine.
Is that even big enough to even house?
Well, that's a big problem. I mean, I was at St. Augustine this past year for a funeral. One of my mom's friends' husbands passed away. We went down to funeral mass at St. Augustine, and they were talking about it down there. They says, they really don't get much people that go there, to the Catholic Church because of all the stuff that's going on, especially that priest. I don't know if you heard about that one out in Cannonsburg there, that one church that stole a ton of money.
You told me. I remember that.
Yeah. So when you got the Catholic Church and people and pastors doing stuff, and priests doing stuff like that, and fathers doing that, and the sex scandal killed them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No pun intended, but that the sex scandal really put the Catholic Church in a pickle, and so now nobody can trust the Catholic Church anymore, and they've got a whole new breed of people. I mean, it's to the point now where you have Pope Francis, and I talked about this before the holiday break we took when I did the show alone because you weren't feeling well, and what had happened was I talked about this to Pope Francis now is worshiping gay people. He's in support of gay marriages and everything else. And remember Father Vic?
Yes.
Remember he talked about how the Greek Orthodox was he went to this conference and they wanted them to start doing gay marriages, and he told them to eat.
Yep.
Remember?
Yes, I do.
And now it's going to start. It may start happening in the Catholic Church. So people just don't have any more confidence in the Catholic Church anymore. So I think the Catholic Church is hurting real bad. I mean, I believe that to be true.
I would believe that, especially it's not even the newer generation I'm talking about. It's the older people as well. The older people as well who really stood behind. And I'm not beating anybody up about their faith or anything, because you're gonna worship however you're gonna want to worship. But what I'm saying is, the older people, case in point, like my aunt, and on how strong of her faith was.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about but that's where I can even see. I mean, for anything that's just all wrong. It's like blasphemy. Like you just it's just like you're just totally turning your back on the whole thing. The whole entire thing you're turning your back on. It doesn't matter what is written in the Bible or anything like that anymore. It's just think about that. Read some of that in the Bible and you'll see. That's just
excuse me for a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Excuse me for a minute.
Yeah, no problem, brother. We're still live, guys, but we're waiting on Ralph to come back. He had to excuse himself for a second. So everybody had a fantastic holiday season, Christmas.
Okay, I'm back.
New Year, and there's the captain. He's got back.
Yeah, I got this sinus problem, man. It's just been kicking me in the butt, and I've had to do some of my shows without the picture because it's been so bad.
I got it. But I was telling these guys over here, brother. I mean, that's a really touchy situation, especially religion. I mean, that's just real bad, and on how everything is just really coming out to light. It really, really is. It's sad, and especially the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church. I mean, wow.
They have fallen this bad to where you have all these churches that have to merge. And when I was in the Lutheran church, we did yoke ministry. We had our pastor was a pastor of two other Lutheran churches as well, because they couldn't find people to be a pastor or priest. They're even having that problem too. That's another story.
I got
you. A lot of people don't want to do it because it's a lot to do. And I mean, but the thing that bothers me is this church in Cannonsburg where this guy this assistant pastor had a gambling problem, and his attorney's Pat Tomasi. Pat Tomasi come on the news and he goes, "Well, yeah, a little bit of a gambling problem." I'm like, "What?" You know what I mean? You stole from your own flock to pay for your gambling debt. I mean, and then he said he had some bill problems. Well, of course you're going to have bill problems because you gamble.
Yeah,
I mean, that all leads to that.
absolutely. Gosh.
All right, Salem's Market is opening up a new location up in the Hill District next month or next month, February. All right, I have some concerns about this, and they had a shop and save up there. They didn't support it. Everyone that I knew that lived in the Hill District did was bitch. Oh, they're too expensive. Oh, the staff is rude. Oh, they have a policeman in there. Well, first of all, I know some people who I knew or still probably do it today. I don't know that used to be involved in retail theft, and it was so bad at Family Dollar up there that they were banned from Family Dollar up in the Hill District. Okay, so my question is, will the Hill District support Salem's Market? That's my question. And when I used to work over at the Giant Eagle in Southside doing Salvation Army, when I used to ring the bell over there, people would tell me they didn't want to shop there. They would go to Giant Eagle and shop. And I know a lot of people didn't want to go in there because they felt offended by the policeman being in there. But first of all, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't the Hill District have a reputation for theft? And that Family Dollar alone has had major problems up there. And they're talking about it's right across from a police station.
Yep.
Okay. So what am I missing here, Bill? But I do hope that this time they support this market and go there and shop.
Well, hey, listen, is this little market that's coming in here? I don't know too much about that market, but is that a mall and pop business? Is that somebody privately owned business?
Yeah, you know the guy down the Strip District on Penn Avenue, Salem's Market and Event Center?
Oh yeah, now I know what you're talking about.
It's that guy.
Okay, well, so maybe because it might be, privately owned, that maybe a possibility, because maybe shop and save. But see, some shop and saves are privately owned. They're just using the name.
Yeah. Well, they are privately owned. It's what's called franchising.
So,
They
right.
use the name shop and save. Like if you and I were to pitch in buy McDonald's, which we can't afford, but I mean, even if we could afford it, that's what McDonald's does. They franchise it, but you have to follow corporate protocol.
Understand?
Okay. Yeah.
But maybe that would be it, because of these guys will be a little on a smaller scale instead of like a shop and save or whatever. I think that they were probably, I'm just saying, I know it's still 50-50. Maybe it's a 70-30. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I'm just saying that it's a good possibility that I think that the police would probably be a little bit more attentive on.
Well, not only that, you've got a lot of these those new townhouses they built right there, like where Curtis lives and all that. Roberts and all that.
Yep.
Those folks were looking for a place to shop. They have to go elsewhere to shop.
Exactly.
And the Hill District doesn't have a location, but let's just hope that this time they support this guy.
That would be awesome.
Because he's in the Strip District. People know who he is, the Salem's.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's establishing a reputation, so he knows it's a good one. So, and then on top of that, is he going to be in the same plaza where the shop and save was?
Yes. It's where the shop and save was. Yes.
Oh, so he got that whole building then?
You got that whole building. Yes.
Wow, that's going to be pretty big. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So do you know if he's going to close the one down the Strip then?
Huh?
Is he going to close the one down the Strip then?
No, that's staying open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was
a lot of money down there. The Strip District's up and coming now. They built all those new townhouses, apartments down there, and you got people loving it down there now. Because
absolutely. Agree. That's agreed. I just thought he might have been consolidating.
No, he's opening up a second location up in the Hill District. Right. I think a lot of these people probably go down to Salem's down in the Strip, and rather than go down there now, they can go right around their backyard, right in the Hill District.
Absolutely.
But I'm hoping, Bill. I'm really praying that this time they support this guy.
Well,
they really support it, and instead of stealing from him and all that other stuff and causing all this problem.
Well, listen, I think that he
ignorant with you or whatever.
Now, I think that he has an established business down in the strip. So the only reason why I'm saying that and I'm going backwards, then I'm going to go forward right now, is because he would probably know a lot of people in law enforcement.
Right.
So
Right.
being the fact that, and I'm sure he probably went up against city council or whatever he had to do to get up there. I'm just saying, I think he's going to be well protected.
I hope so. I mean, I want it to work because he's also creating jobs up there.
Oh,
He
absolutely.
needs people.
Absolutely.
He needs people.
I mean,
And I mean, but I'm just hoping that these meatheads up there don't, the ones that are meatheads are good families. I'm not saying the whole Hill District is bad, because
right,
it's not. But
right, right.
there's a small, what they call, minority up there that don't want to ever see change, and they always want things that are brand new to go out the door. And,
Right.
and that's and that's what they did with the Shop and Save. They never supported that guy. All I ever heard was complaining. Okay, and when I was doing the Salvation Army down at the Giant Eagle on the south side, all I heard was people complain. Well, his prices are too high, and there's a policeman in there. Well, there's a policeman at the Giant Eagle on the south side too.
I was getting ready to say, unless they removed him, but yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
know there was always a cop down there.
I don't get it, and I don't know what happened there. You know, I think I don't know what happened there. It was nice because when I used to work at the apartment building nearby there, uh, it was the residents were ranting and raving about it when it was built because they could just go right up the street and go shopping.
Yeah, it's
You know,
nice.
having to take a bus to go somewhere, or it even made the building get rid of the shuttle because they didn't need it for grocery
Right.
shopping anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I really hope it does. I do. I know
Yeah,
exactly
so
what
do
you're
I.
talking about.
So do I. And like I said, it's going to create jobs, and he's already starting to hire, and wants to open in February. So let's see what he does.
I hope so. I wish him the best.
So do I. So do I. I hope he does well, and I hope it does good for the Hill District, where those people don't have to go all the way over to the south side or to the north side to go shopping. And
Absolutely.
I hope this time they really appreciate it up there. I really
I,
do, because they
I,
ran that Shop and Save out, and
I think
it was sad.
I think it's going to be okay, brother. I do. I really do.
Oh,
Because
so
they need that up there.
oh, they do. All right. This topic segment was brought to you by Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio, 45 minutes from downtown Pittsburgh, right up the hill from Steubenville. Hay grain beef, the best around. I bought their ground beef package. I used it for meat sauce for spaghetti, sloppy Joe, and hamburgers. And I got to tell you what, man, it's some of the best hay grain beef around that I've ever had. $90 for 20 pounds of ground beef. Where are you going to find that price? Nowhere.
Nowhere.
So give them a call today, 740-346-5442, 740-632-2894, or email them at hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com. If you want to email them for directions or call them for directions, please do. They'll tell you exactly what to put in your GPS. Don't just go into your GPS and pop up Hillcrest Farm, because there's about 3 of them in Ohio. All right. So make sure you get the right one. It's in Richmond, Ohio. But the guy, when you call them or if you email them, they will give you the specific instructions to put in your GPS so you know how to get there. Okay. And they're also shipping at www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com. So if you live in Alaska, let's say, or you live anywhere in the United States, you can get it delivered. So there you are. Hillcrest Farms, Richmond, Ohio. Either call, email, or text, or get on their website, hillcrestfarmsohio.com, or also on their Facebook page, Hillcrest Farm. Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio. All right, Bill, we're going in our second hour of our 2-hour special. Happy New Year. If you're just tuning in, we've been on since 6 o'clock. We did our normal routine. This second hour, Bill and I are going to talk about things that people should start doing to change their lives in 2024 and quit making everybody else's life an inconvenience, okay? Or whatever they're doing. All right. Bill, I'll start with you. I know you're out there driving and you take notes about what people do out there more than I do. I take notes too. I mean, I'm starting to think that some of these people came here from Raleigh, because if you ask my mom, there was something called a Raleigh move, when people would just pull right up to the intersection and make a turn and put their turn signal on and not give you an advance notice. I call that the Raleigh move, because other than that, there really wasn't anything in Raleigh that makes me think, other than an elderly gentleman driving 20 miles an hour on an 80-mile-an-hour highway down there. Other than that, I didn't seem to have too many problems in Raleigh. So Bill, what's going on with the driving situation? What do you think people need to improve on in 2024?
Well, first of all, I think they need to improve on themselves. And what I mean by that is that they they need to look in the. Michael Jackson hit it right on the nose. He said, "The man in the mirror." I mean,
Yeah,
serious. And it's also the woman in the mirror now too, because everybody's not a man. It's the woman as well.
right.
But listen, folks, seriously, I remember years ago when everybody was courteous, kind. They had They had road sense.
Yes.
Now, instead of road sense, it turned into road sense, turned into road rage.
Oh, oh, you should hear the road rage accidents and the accidents that happened over the holidays. I read you
I
this.
just seen on the news there was a Corvette somewhere ran into a building. The Corvette got demolished, but the building just had like little bumps and bruises on it because it's a piece of fiberglass. But this dude come flying up over there, and the Corvette was airborne, came down. You seen the sparks come out like where it hit the bottom of the Corvette, and then it ran into this building. But what I'm saying is, guys, is listen, an automobile is a piece of machinery. Treat it as such as that. Don't get in it and you drive the automobile. Don't let the automobile drive you. Just drive the automobile. Be in control. Be more attentive. And damn, man, put the phone down.
Oh, that's the worst. Every time I see somebody driving like a turtle on the parkway and I look over when I pass them, they're on the phone.
Put the
If I
phone
see somebody
down.
at the light that's sitting at the light and I beep at them, and then I see they're on the phone.
I
You
mean,
know,
I get the text message. I get today's a busy world. People, listen, I'm going to just tell you just like it is. I get it. Today's busy, busy, busy. Everybody's about making that dollar, supporting their family and everything else. I totally get that. But listen, seriously, guys, if there is any way to avoid a 5-car pileup for a 5-minute drive to pull on over or whatever, if you're expecting an important text and it's that important, man, pull off to the side of the road, especially if you're on a major highway or something. And if it's that important, you're in a neighborhood or a residential area and it's that important, pull off to the side of the road. Do not just keep pounding that text. It's something else. Today's cell phones, they have this thing on there where you can go into driving mode. And if anybody would try to call you
I
and
know. When
yeah,
I've tried to reach you a few times, I've
yeah,
gotten that message, and I
yeah,
used to have I used to
yeah.
have that message on my phone.
So I
Yeah.
do have that on there, and you know that. And
Right.
anybody who has called me while I'm driving and or texting me, it will come as we're driving after the car safely stopped. That's what it says on there. Car safely stopped. Then he'll text you back or whatever the situation is. But guys, please, common sense, road rage. Back that up from the road rage into road care, and it's just the road sense. Period. Seriously. I mean, there's no way. I mean, what are you trying to do? If you're doing 90 mile an hour down a 25-mile road, you're definitely going to cause some serious situations that you don't ever want to be involved in. And so 95 mile an hour to compare, you might hit something to go in and cause yourself to go into an accident, possibly kill somebody, not even mentioning the fact that it probably might just kill you. And if it's not going to kill you, you're going to have some serious repercussions from that accident. So people, please, I just ask you, just seriously, have more common sense on the road, man.
Yeah,
Really.
there's a lot of hit and runs out there.
Yes, there is.
Every time you turn around, what do you hear on the news? Hit and run.
Yeah.
Hit and run. Somebody was just ran over by a car. What was it? 2 nights ago. Somebody was just hit by a car right up here on Arlington Avenue.
Seriously.
Somebody was hit by a car. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So that I mean,
and the worst thing the state could have done, Bill, was take away those stickers they used to put on the back of your license plate, because now they're saying they're having issues trying to keep track of these people who don't have insurance on their car, because what they used to do was they used to punch up that little number on that little sticker, and they would be able to bust you. They'd be right behind you, and they would be able to see that sticker there and pop it up on their computer and bust you. Now, I don't know what's going on here now, but they can't seem to find these people that don't have insurance.
Slip through the cracks of that for sure.
Yeah, something's going on. I heard they're bringing them stickers back because of it.
Oh,
that's what I heard. Yeah, because you're getting too many people riding around now with no insurance.
I got you.
I mean, and that's a problem. And that's
absolutely
it's a big problem. You're right. 2024 is here, folks. Bill and I are sitting here tonight in this next hour, and you can comment on what you think people need to improve on. I think people need to quit being ignorant.
Yep.
All right. I'm tired of the ignorance. Whether I'm out and about or, I got to hand it to you. to people lately during the holiday season, and I know there's a lot of hustle and bustle, and people are looking for Christmas gifts and thieves and all that stuff, and I get it. All right. Okay. Here is, ignorance. It's all across the board. But I had people holding doors open for me. I had people wishing me a Merry Christmas. I had people saying Happy New Year. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciated that. Okay. But you go to some of these stores, or you go to Walmart or Giant Eagle or any of these places, and these employees, some of them, and again, I don't blame them, because I'm going to bring you another example of what people need to fix in 2024. The entitlement. They have to stop this. Okay. People are going into fast food restaurants all across the country, Bill, and they're flipping out and beating up the drive-through attendant or the employee because they didn't get poor pickles on their Big Mac. Okay. They're beating up people in the store because they didn't get a milkshake, the right flavor. Okay. This is where we are. I don't know what kind of air people are sniffing. I don't know if people are too high on drugs, or doctors giving people drugs to keep them down so they don't come into their office and pester them. I don't know. There's something going on here that I can't pinpoint, Bill, that's causing people to go crazy and be ignorant. Okay. And that's been a big problem. And I think in 2024, regardless of what it is you're doing, you need to stop being ignorant. What do you
Well,
think?
it seems like the love button has been switched to the hate button, because if you remember, we always had on the back of our plate, "You have a friend in Pennsylvania." What do you got there
Yes.
now? Not a damn thing.
No.
Nothing. I mean, come on. I mean, Pennsylvania was one of the most loving states from what I
Philadelphia is supposed to be the city of brotherly love.
think it's.
I
Yeah,
hear it's not so brotherly.
the
Love.
city of brotherly fine bullets, you mean?
Yeah.
But otherwise than that, the thing is that I believe that that's right. The inner self, and I'm sure everybody's going to, some people are definitely going to agree, but I think mostly all will. But somebody once in your life probably heard, treat somebody as if you would want to be treated.
Yes.
So if you're going to
Yes.
treat somebody like garbage, be expecting that in return, but not over a milkshake, not over a Big Mac.
Pickles
It's
on a
stupid
Big Mac.
stuff.
It's dumb
Stupid
things.
stuff.
Stupid stuff.
Stupid stuff that
Oh,
costs
I
money
had
to
to
get
wait in
shot.
line for half an hour to get my food at a restaurant or to get a cup of coffee at Starbucks. So I'm going to flip out and throw coffee at people. I mean, it makes no sense at all, Bill. None.
People really need to slow down and think about stuff seriously, because
Yeah.
that's where it is. Everybody's on an
Thinking's
impulse,
not there.
an
Common
impulse
sense isn't
act.
there either.
Impulse acting is what it is, brother. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh,
Like, you heard of impulse buying. What is this impulse acting? If you're in a bad mood, I'm telling you, if you're in a
yeah.
bad mood, you go through somebody and somebody says, "Well, this is," and you go through and you get your milkshake and it's the wrong flavor. You guys, "Oh, damn it, blah, blah, blah," and you start bitching up a storm and everything like that. And then you go back and then you say, "Hey, listen, it's the wrong flavor." Instead of you getting that off your chest before you get into the store, but instead of getting that off your chest before you get into the store, but then when you get into the store, if you don't get it off your chest before you get into the store, then you take it out on those people. And it was a human mistake. It was a human error. That's all it was. So you mean to tell me you don't make mistakes? Everybody does. There ain't no perfect person in this world. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how little money you have. You ain't no perfect person in this world. And that's what I'm talking about. Think about what you're going to do. Think about your reactions to your actions. You know what I'm saying? Especially your reaction to an action that can cause some severe damage to somebody, and if not, some severe damage to somebody's property. It's very sad, brother. Very
All
sad.
right.
So people, please kick off
Let's
24.
we got
Much
some
better.
emails here, Bill. Let's see
You
what
got
there's.
some? Bring it on in.
Yeah, Mike from Banksville says he watches our show all the time, enjoys it. Says our topics are right on the dot tonight.
Hey,
So
Mike, appreciate you, brother. Thanks for coming on in. Thank you for being a viewer, man, and a listener. Appreciate you.
And we got Phil from Knoxville, Tennessee. He says that he watches the program all the time. He enjoys our conversation and he enjoys our topics. And he says to keep doing what we're doing. So
Appreciate you, Phil. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year and Happy Holidays to all you guys. Thank you so much, guys.
Phil does agree that the society needs to get common sense back. They need
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Absolutely. 1,000% on that. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's our mailbag for tonight, at least for right now. You can participate either in the mailbag or in the comment section here. We want to know what you're going to do to fix 2024 in your life. What are you going to do? All right, what are you expecting for this year? to win $1 million. Well, if you're expecting that, then I don't know. You know what I mean? But I mean, do you have something small? Do you want to quit smoking, drinking? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to quit being an idiot? Do you want to, I mean, what is on your mind this year for what you plan to do for 2024? All right. Do you want to quit being mediocre? All right. Mediocrity in your life. All right.
Mm.
Like we know a sports team in this town that's mediocrity. So I mean, what do you want to do for 2024? Are you lazy? Are you finally going to get up and go get a job? All right. I had a mailbag today, Bill. Guy says to me, Ralph, he says, I like your show, but I disagree with you on laziness. He says, I can't work. I'm disabled. I says, I never said anything about anybody. I'm disabled myself and I can't work a gainfully employed job. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So
Sure.
I'm not saying those people. I'm talking about the people that play Xbox and PlayStation. And we know a couple people that do that.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Yes,
want to
sir.
work.
Yep.
Okay. So what I'm saying is those are the people I'm after. Those are the ones I'm angry with because they're causing small businesses as well as what we talked about Jeff's Barbecue, not only just for the BS that's going on there, but I'm talking about, Bill, some of these places are going under because they can't get help. Some of these small businesses, they're folding up because they can't find employees. You have people that have been in business for 30 years that got to work 18-hour days like they did when they first opened up. They don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
They want to stay home and be with the grandkids and all that stuff.
Yep.
I mean, there was a hardware store in Swissville. The guy's been in business for, 50 years. He's 70 years old. He says, you know what? I want to spend time with my grandkids and I got to be here all the time. And he says,
Absolutely.
my wife can't, my wife is up with the Lord. And he says, and I'm by myself here. And he says, I can't get anybody who wants to work. And some of these people you can't trust. Look
Yeah,
at
you're right.
going on. Look at the thievery it's going on. Look at the nursing homes this past year. How
Oh,
many nursing
absolutely.
homes have you heard of abuse and bright nursing's at it again? I mean, it's ridiculous. Padding bills. I mean, come on, folks. 2024 is here. This country's in disarray. We need to fix it. And to fix it, we got to change things that we're doing and doing wrong. We got to do right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And brother, here's the whole thing.
What do you have to offer for this conversation?
I just got to offer this. I mean, really, it really starts off with you.
Right.
You. And that's where it starts off. And if you can't fix you, you can't fix anything else. So you're going to go out there and you're going to be pissed off at the world because you're pissed off at whoever, and you're going to go out and cause all kind of drama and everything else. See, that's what I'm saying. So you got to just really take a minute, step back and look at the bigger picture and say, hey, look, this is what we got to do. If we want this to be better, start off with you. When you're in a relationship with a woman, right? Or with a man, whatever, it's a two-way street, right? No, it's a two-way street, right? Agreed, right? If you're in that relationship and it's one-sided, where the hell do you think that's going to go?
Oh, it's not going to go far. That's a guarantee. And I'm sure you've heard this growing up, and so have I. It takes two to tango.
Absolutely. It's
Okay.
a two-way street. And if you can't meet the other one halfway in the middle to get that 50-50 between you two,
right.
Forget about it. It ain't even sense. It ain't even sense to go on. That's where it starts. It starts with you individually. Start with you, please. Seriously. And I mean, I can't say this enough. That's what I feel, Brother Ralph. I mean, what do you think? What do you think?
So do I. I think the same way. And here's what I'm expecting out of 2024. All right. I have my Sports Corner radio show.
I do.
Right? I need sponsors and advertisers to keep it going. I have some, but I need more. I need some more. And I've been striking out this year on more. And so we're coming up on 2024. I'm going 2 hours to make myself better, okay, and to reach out and to have more time to talk sports and to bring more perspective to sports. And here's the thing that bothers me, Bill, is I reach out to these people and I get no response. I get no email, I get no phone call, I get nothing. And to me, that's another form of ignorance.
Oh, absolutely. Silence. Absolutely.
Another form of ignorance. And the worst thing in society today that America could have ever done was the email. because everybody hides behind it now.
Same thing with the text as well. If you don't want to be bothered by that person, or you're pissed off for whatever person in that text, and that text comes through, you don't. He's texting me. Just take your phone and throw it down, because I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be bothered.
You know, January is here. Businesses start to look at their budgets for the year 2024. I have some correspondents that have said they will contact me in January because they have to look at their budget for this year. All right. What I charge for advertising is no excuse for you not to be involved. You understand what I mean?
I do.
And you and I had this conversation about a friend that we know that owns a business, and I'm not going to say what it is. And I spoke with him on the phone, and he regrets that he didn't talk to me the day I went over to go get something done with my car.
I remember. I remember.
And I said to him, look, I says, and he told me, he said, oh, Ralph, he says, I forgot you have shows. You told me about them. He said, and I spent $6,000 on advertising. Really? Is this where you're going to go with your business in 2024? That's what I'm expecting this year. I'm expecting some big rewards of sponsorship advertising for the radio show and these programs. These programs, it costs money to put them on.
Yeah.
You know, everything costs money. Equipment, on-air time, that kind of thing. You know, and it costs money to do this. And I want to keep my dream alive. And my dream is to talk sports in this town and be able to be the new voice of sports talk radio, have a following, go national, syndicated, okay, and really do it. All right. But I can't do that if I don't have what I need to do it. And right now, I mean, I have it, but it's working, but it's not working. You understand what I'm saying? You know, so I mean, it's working, but the formula is not working. That's the whole problem. And the formula is sponsorship advertising. And I get no responses. I get no, hey, yes, maybe no. I mean, I don't even care if you lie to me and tell me, well, I'll call you next month, and don't bother. At least you responded. But this is another form of ignorance. And I think this needs to change. And if you're a business person that does this to people, I just want to know what you do to people that call you for business. That's what I want to know. You think about that for a minute, everybody out there. Think about it. If you're a business person and you treat me like that, I can just imagine how you treat your customers. You don't even bother to even get back to me. Don't bother to email me. Don't bother to call me. Don't bother to text me. Say, look, I'm not interested. Or, you know, even if you told me that, I wouldn't be angry with you. Okay. And if you think I would, I'm not. I would rather you be honest with me, or at least respond to me, because to me, that means you're ignorant when you don't do that. Okay. You know, and that's what I want to see change this year.
I think it is, brother. I think it's going to pick up for the better. It's just not because we're on here now, but I believe, because I'm only on here with you on one program, and you got multitudes of programs.
Yeah.
And I believe it. I truly believe that, you know, it will, and it will open up. I mean, you know, give it second week in January and see what happens and see where it goes. I believe it.
Yeah.
I do.
And I'm hoping that these people who said they were going to get back to me in January, I hope they do. Because if they're not that sincere, I can just imagine how they run their business.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
I
right.
got
You know, and you know, if you're a business that's complaining because you're not making any money, but then you know, tell me, well, you know, or you don't even respond to me at all, and you're not making any money, I can just imagine how you conduct business.
exactly. I was just getting ready to say that too, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, no return call, no nothing. And so how
Yeah.
are you conducting the business? You know,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I couldn't get none of that when I was by myself 2 weeks ago. I said, what's your business doing? You know, what are you doing? Are you slow? I'm not even going to tell you. I don't even want to know your name. If you put your name up, which you will, I don't even want to know your name. Just tell me, what's your business doing? Is it suffering? If it is, and you need my help, I'll be more than happy to help you with some affordable sponsorship advertising. But if you go out there and spend $12,000, shame on you.
Yeah,
Shame on you for that. If you
Yeah.
go out and spend that kind of money on advertising and you're not making any money, shame on you. Okay. because that's sad, because I have something that can work for you. And right now, people are hurting. 70% of America right now, Bill, is living paycheck to paycheck, even businesses.
Yeah.
Okay. 40% of America this year button down the hatch for Christmas. You would have never thought you'd ever hear that. Button down the hatch for Christmas this year.
Because what do you hear year after year? Credit card debt. They did this, they did that. But that's like throwing a monkey wrench in there, brother. Throwing a big curveball that way. You
Yeah,
know what
absolutely. They said 40% of America, and this is the very first, button down the hatch for the holidays this year. They didn't spend what they normally spend.
Well,
Okay.
maybe that's the right. Maybe that's the right direction for 2024 too, as well. You know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And support small businesses. I talked to a guy who I was pursuing for sponsorship advertising in Beaver Falls. He said, I'm not making, he was on the news crying and complaining. He ain't making no money. I don't get no foot traffic. And I said, look, I says, I can help you out here. I called him up and I says, look, I can help you out here a little bit. We talked on the phone. I sent him a rate sheet. Never got back to me. Then I called him a couple times. He tried to call me. He never left a message. Then I called him back on his voicemail again. I got so tired of playing phone tag with him, I quit calling him. But he was on the news complaining he don't have any foot traffic. Okay. Don't have any foot traffic in his little business in Beaver Falls. And I'm trying to help you. And you do that to me. You know what I mean? So there you are. What are you afraid to ask me a question?
Brother, people don't like. And listen, seriously, I don't care who you are, where you are. I don't care what it is. Everybody sugarcoats everything in this world, but the problem is if you don't want the truth, the brutal truth, okay, don't come here.
No, right, exactly. Because we'll give it to you.
I mean, because I'm going to tell you this, and I mean it, and I say it, and I'll say it again. I do not like to sugarcoat anything. I've told my kids that many, many times.
Oh, I don't do it.
I've told, I don't know how many goofy ass relationships that I've been in many, many times. And look what. But the thing is that give the truth, man. If people, seriously, just think about this for a second. When you're 12 years old and you're going to tell a lie to get out of something from getting your ass beat by your mom or your dad, I get that. But when you're 55 years old or 60 years old and you're going to tell a lie to make yourself look good, you see where I'm going with this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do see where you're going with it. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I get it.
The thing is that my family, where I come from, you know how big my family was and still is. Some of them who are still around, who are still alive. I was always afraid to tell a lie to get out of something that was stupid. Because then the school in return, which I don't have to give no names, we know this, you know about it, brother. But the school in return would call my uncle, who was right across the street from the school where I went to. And then when I'd see him standing at the bottom of the ramp when I would come out of school every day, I knew I was in trouble for something that I didn't even do. So all I'm saying is that the truth, I mean, I know it's easier said than done. And I can probably hear people already saying, oh, you just don't know what's going on here, man. You don't understand what's happening. Why? If I lie, I can get more out of my lying. Well, then if that's the way you want to pursue it and go down that road, be my guest, my sir or my ma'am. Otherwise than that, that's the way I feel about it, though, brother. I mean, you're talking about, clean up 2024 and about the advertisement rates and all that other stuff. But again, I'll say it and I'll say it again. And I said it before, starts with you, period.
That's it. You're right. You're exactly right. It does. It starts with you. And, comment section's wide open, mailbag. If you're interested in telling us what you plan to do for 2024, do you want to stop using a cell phone while you're driving your car? Do you want to, quit doing road rage? All right. Do you want to stop stealing from people? Especially when you steal from elderly and old ladies and stuff like that. Then how about the scam artists out there? How about you guys? How about all them guys?
Unbelievable.
Do you know the scams are coming up with these days, Bill? It's terrible.
Oh yeah, I think you were with me on that one. Remember, I think we were up at the Mills, and I got a phone call from Duquesne Light. Do you remember
Yeah,
this?
yeah, I remember that scam. Yeah, and
And he
guess what?
goes like this.
Remember that time a certain restaurant got that call, and
Yes.
she was going to pay too, and then she found out it was a scam. I said, "Oh my gosh." Yeah,
And
I
I
remember
says,
the one you got. The
yeah.
guy got on the phone. Yeah, I
I
remember that.
says, I says, that's okay. You can send somebody on over. I'll be sitting up on my front porch there with me and my little brother. We'll be sitting up on that front porch waiting for you to come over there.
Right.
So bring your little foreign ass over there. Because that's what he was. Remember, he goes, I got it from Duquesne Light, and I'm going to tell you that it's going to be shut off if you don't pay the $1,000.
Yeah.
What?
You do a good imitation of them, just like I do. You know?
What?
Hello, how are you today? You know, it's oh my gosh, the scam is so
and I'm
bad.
sorry, and it's stupid and sad because people they'll actually fall for it, brother. And it's the same, especially when you get the phone calls from the county police or the Allegheny County Police. Do you ever, or the sheriff? Did you ever get those?
Yeah, yeah.
They have a warrant.
I just got one the other day. They were from some police union.
They had a warrant out for your arrest.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't get that one, no, but they were soliciting for a police union or something.
No, wait. So they have a warrant out for your arrest. First of all, folks, if they have a warrant out for your arrest, they're not going to call you and say they're coming to get you, man.
This is what I'm saying for 2024. You got to be aware, man. You can't be doing this. And then on top of that, here's another good one. People that leave important things in their car. And they leave their car wide open and don't lock it. And then they want to know why people steal from their car. Okay.
There it is.
Change too. You got to start having some common sense for 2024.
I really hope
Christmas gifts in the trunk.
Yeah. I just really hope that, seriously, I mean, and all kidding aside, guys, and all, we love you guys out there. We truly do. I don't how far we reach everybody is awesome. We just love you. I mean, everybody's human, everybody's, but the thing is that we really just got to start just pulling everything together as humans, as common sense wise, as making yourself better and making this other stuff better. And that's what it is. And that's the big thing. Because like I told you, Brother Ralph, and you know this, if you're having a problem before you walk out the door, whether it be your girlfriend, fiance, your wife, but if you're walking out the door and you have a problem with that, you're going to take it out into the world with you instead of leaving it back at home and then talk about it when you get back home. So you're going to bring that out with you.
Right.
And that there is going to cause right there, as soon as you step off your first step on your porch to go into your car, you've already caused the problem. And you didn't even have to say anything yet. Didn't have to say a word.
I got something for you. There was this kid. I was a freshman in high school, and this kid was a freshman. He was 19 years old. 19. Okay. So this guy, we had this substitute teacher, and he looked like Kenny Rogers. So this kid, this 19-year-old kid, walks in and he goes, "You got to know where the hole, where in the fold them, And he says, "What?" He says, "You laughing at me because I look like Kenny Rogers?" He says, "Let me tell you something, pal." He says, "I left my house when I was 18 years old. I told my dad I was leaving. I was happy to leave when I was 18 and be on my own." He says, "How old are you?" He says, "Oh, I'm 19. He says, "You're a freshman and you're 19 years old?" He says, "You still live at home, kid?" And he goes, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, did mommy not put the tomato on my sandwich?" He says, "Oh, still living at home with mommy, 19 years old. Oh." He says, "Yeah." He says, so before you make fun of me being looking like Kenny Rogers, better look at yourself." Kid was 19 years old in ninth grade, Bill.
Yeah, I think 19 and ninth, huh?
Yeah.
Well, so how many times you're going to repeat ninth grade there, buddy?
I don't know how many years he repeated stuff, but 19 years old in the ninth grade.
I guess he must have missed something in the first couple of years.
Oh, I know. Yeah. What do you do? Miss math class every time?
I'm just saying, man.
Oh, man.
Listen, I always say this. I'll say it and I'll say it again. The mall's open, but there's nobody shopping.
Yeah, there's nobody shopping.
The wheels are turning, but the hamster's dead. Now, I mean, that's
right. Yeah. And I had a English teacher try to shove Shakespeare down my throat. And I said, "I don't like Shakespeare. I'm not here for Shakespeare. Come on."
Shakespeare. Okay.
I
can't see myself those things. I'm sorry.
She says to me, this teacher, she goes, "Well, I love Shakespeare." I said, "Well, good, because I don't."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go knock yourself out. Go read Shakespeare in the corner when you get home.
Yeah. So, I mean, and She said she likes Shakespeare. She tried to shove it down everybody's throat, and a lot of the kids were like, I ain't coming to this class. It's boring. I don't want to be in here. I'm not learning anything. What do I need to learn about Shakespeare for?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That should be like one of those, if you want to take it up to grab any more credits, one of those extra credit things, what they used to do. I don't even know if they even still do that.
I forgot this. Did you hear what the state law is going to be real soon? Actually, it's going to be a federal law. They're forcing school districts now to make students starting next year, or the next school year, to take personal finance in school. Personal finance. Personal finance, and they're making you take that. And if you fail, you don't pass. You don't. Yeah, it's
No
going to be a
kidding.
required course to take.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Well, that'd
some
be good.
students are fired up about this. They don't want to do this.
Well,
You know what I mean? Well,
but
you know what? That needs to happen because we got too much, BS going on around here. You know what I mean?
exactly. And you know what? If you start young, you never know what kind of investors you might get out of that. You
Yeah.
never know, because people who are happy with math, and to do that, and to do it openly with more common sense, to actually say, well, this and this and that, and personal finances, for you to get this, when you get this age, you'll have this amount of money. Wouldn't you want to have known that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Well, when I was taught finance, they just showed me how to write a check. They didn't go into specifics.
yeah,
I
no,
learned on my own. I mean, I learned bookkeeping because I was a treasurer of the union. I learned, some other things, you know what I'm saying? Financial secretary, stuff like that. But I mean,
absolutely.
and I was always good at math and good with numbers. A lot of times I don't have to use a calculator. I can figure it out in my head. But what I'm saying is I just never got into algebra or nothing. But now, yeah, I forgot to mention that tonight here on the show. And it just crossed my mind that they're requiring that you take a personal finance class or credit or whatever it's called in high school, and if you fail, you don't graduate.
That's going to be interesting. I'd like to see the outcome of that. I'd really like to see. It'd be shocking if that outcome is going to be past
You
30%.
got too many young kids racking up credit card bills at 16 years old.
Oh,
You know
hell
what
yeah.
I mean? I mean,
Yep. Yep.
back when I was 16 years old, I didn't have a credit card. I mean, to do that. And
Nope.
it's not just rich, it's poor too, because there's access to this stuff now. It's
Yeah.
more access now than it is before. And
Yes.
that's why a lot of credit card companies now require you to be over 18 years old or 21 or whatever to get a credit card or a debit card or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get you. I get you. Definitely.
Some kids are responsible, others not. You got 10-year-old kids out there got cell phones.
Yeah.
And and maybe they should teach a class on that, how to use the cell phone. You know what I mean? Because instead of using it in class, there are school districts out there. North Allegheny was going to start it, where you're going to have they have started it, I'm told, and a couple other school districts in the state where they have these pouches. And I saw these when I used to work events downtown for a certain event services company, and some of the performers didn't want people using cell phones to take pictures or video. So what they would do is we would hand everybody has a cell phone, had to turn it in with us. We would give you a key and we'd lock it up in a pouch and put it in a locker. All right. Then at the end of the night, you come with your key, you show us your key and your ID, and we give you your phone back. And you take it out of the pouch, you unlock the pouch, take it out, give us the pouch, we give you your phone. They're doing that in schools now because it's too distractive. The kids are bringing the phones in. They're sitting in class playing on their phone, not paying attention.
Understand.
And now some of the school districts are starting to do that. But you got these parents out here. Well, no, actually, I agree with them because we've had this discussion about security in schools. Okay. They don't trust the security of schools. So they'd rather their kid have a cell phone that if they can call 911 and get the emergency people there quicker than what the teacher could do, going to the principal or picking up their phone out of the desk or out of their locker or whatever they got to do, it would cut the time frame in half by the kid having the cell phone. But on the other hand, they have the cell phone, they're distractive in class.
Well,
Music, in their ear and not paying attention to the teacher. So now school districts are doing that. They're making them put them in pouches. Oh, that's against my child's civil rights. You can't do that.
No, listen, when you step on that property, you're coming into a building that's a federally, governmentally funded and all this other thing. This is
Yes,
your kid's education, right? It's not that you're taking the cell phone away and throwing these kids in some room and locking the door.
to my kid.
You know what I mean? It's not that. It's just the fact that you are causing the distraction for those other 10 or 12 kids in that room, in that class, who wants to get an education and not play on cell phones and so forth like that.
That's
So
it.
I understand about, God forbid, if there was something that goes on, they have the cell phone with them, 911. I get
Yeah.
that, but you have to get to the phone in order to dial 911.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, they're saying that they're fighting this in some of these school districts that want to do this across the country, not just in Pennsylvania, but
I
across
mean,
the country that are doing this because what they want to do is they want to do this for the fact that the kids are not learning. That's just like we talked about those books in the library.
yes,
Remember
yes,
that?
yes,
I
I do.
mean, you got kids out here shooting people and doing stupid things in school, but you're worried about books in a library.
Yeah,
I mean, this is again, but I wanted to tell you about that. Yeah,
I
I
didn't
wanted
know
to
that.
tell you
That's
about that.
awesome.
They're talking about, and I think it's being spearheaded here in PA. They want to start classes in personal finance because too many young kids these days are racking up bills and they're not getting in, they're not schooled. Parents are not there to school them on this stuff. So now they're putting it in the hands of the schools and education. So
It's-
I'd like to find out how they're going to find an instructor or a teacher that actually teaches personal finance and pay them to come in and do this. That's going to be the kicker problem right there because they
well,
can't find
wouldn't,
people now.
well, wouldn't anybody with a mathematics degree would be able to do that? I mean, or I mean, sort of like
I
touch on
don't
that area.
know. I mean, I'm not sure what it all curtails. I mean,
I mean, I don't mean to be
personal
ignorant on this.
finance can be in 6 different ways, Bill, or
Yeah,
10
I could.
different
I was
ways.
just,
You
I
know
was
what I
just getting
mean?
ready to say that. I don't mean to be ignorant about this situation, but personal finance is when how we did what we did is to get
Yeah,
our stuff situated, and maybe we didn't do it as well as whatever somebody's finance companies do. The personal finance, like I know that there's a lot of finance companies out there that you go in and you say, well, if you give us $1,000, we can do this with it and we can do that, and then by that time you'll have this much money and all this other stuff. And I get all that because that's their inside track and inside. But
right.
anybody I know with a mathematics degree, I know that. But however, you probably would have to have more of a degree on the other side of that because it would
Like
actually
an
be a more,
accountant's degree or something like
yeah,
that.
or
Because you
more,
go to school
yeah,
for accounting or finance or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it would have to be more in depth. Just mathematics ain't going to get it. So
No,
yeah,
and I'm also told the community colleges are starting to do that now too. Some of them.
well, that's awesome. I mean, because that would be great for some of these young bucks coming up through the system. I mean,
Yeah,
think about that for a second.
yeah. And if it
Yeah,
starts there, it'll end. You know what I mean, in a good way.
yeah,
If they pay attention to what's going on,
yes,
that's
yes.
where they
I
can
mean,
go with that.
well, because
When I was working in port, when I was training at Port Authority, and it was the first year they did it, they had some people come in and talk to us about how to watch our money because you had people. And again, I don't care what people do with their money, but you had people buying big time houses, boats, cars, fancy clothes, all kinds of stuff. And I don't have a problem with that. But there were people going broke because they were doing that. And what was happening was they would work 200 pounds of overtime and be burned out, fall asleep at the wheel, that kind of thing. So, or not to take away from them working overtime, but they were overdoing themselves because they had all this. You know what I mean? They had expensive boats and RVs and cars, and I know you work hard for it. That's fine. That's great. But if when you're working 200 pounds of overtime, you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. You know
absolutely
that kind of stuff happens.
no,
And
and I get that you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor. I get that.
right,
But I
right,
mean, there's a certain time, like if you're going to say, I'm going to go out and I'm going to spend $1,000 on clothes to where I need $1,200 to pay my car note, and you're going to go out and spend $1,000 on clothes, where's this going?
right, right, right. Yeah.
You're, you're
So they gave us a crash course. It was a small one. They said, watch what you spend, watch how you spend your money. Don't live beyond your means, because we have too many operators here that live beyond their means.
I mean, they'd
And
be the best. They would be the best looking bums out on the street. Let me tell you.
yeah, and what's happening is a lot of these guys are working on, the guys and gals were working all this overtime. And I knew a couple who both worked overtime. It was so bad their car was parked in a parking lot, and they had a Cadillac or a Mercedes or whatever it was parked in the parking lot, and it was growing weeds around it
No
because
kidding.
they worked
Wow.
7 days a week and all the overtime that could be had.
Jeez.
And I said to myself, what kind of life do you have like that? I mean, all you're doing is working. And that's because they had, well, of course they earned it by working all this overtime. But then again, why put the extra stress on your body to do that? And that was pointed. But so that's where this personal finance is going too. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
You know.
too, on top of that, maybe they both had it whether they were husband or wife or whatever, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. But they might have had a personal goal in mind too, brother. Too. Think about that for a second. To work all that overtime and say, hey, by the time we're 40, we want to have this much. Something
So
like
we
that.
can retire early, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I know
could.
guys
Yeah.
who've done that. I mean, they started at Port Authority. See, when I started, you had to be 23 years old, and now I think it's 18 maybe or
Oh,
20.
wow.
They
Really?
cut the age down, I think, but
Wow.
I'm not real sure. But I know we had to be 23 or older. And the
I
one guy
remember.
I talked to when I was on the bus one day, he worked at East Liberty Garage. He was telling me that he was 42 years old and he was ready to retire, or 43, he was ready to retire. He started at 18.
Jeez.
43 years old.
That would be awesome, though.
He said he was ready to retire. He had 25 years in, and he was prepared to go do some side work, like maybe cutting grass or something, just to keep himself busy, or go bag groceries or something. And then he said, yeah, he was going to be retired, and he didn't want to do that any longer than 25 years. So that's what he's doing. But then
Well,
you
that's
got guys that have been here for 40 years, and they
yeah.
had to literally run them out. They had to say, look, this is it. You can't make any more money here. You're done. And they had to sort of tell them you have to leave. And I know some guys that did that. There was a guy who was there 43 years, and they finally told him, you got to go.
I got you. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, they get in that groove, man, and they just want to keep going and going. And that's great too, but starting them at 18, that's not bad. I mean, because
And then retiring at 43. Good for him.
That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
because I know Port Authority pays well. I know that they do.
Yeah.
But, and I know that they got a lot of everything going on with overtime and all that stuff too, all over the place. But
Well, now the overtime, now you can't do a lot because, the new state law is 14. You're only allowed to be on the road no more than 14 hours.
right.
So if you want to work overtime, you can't work. If you are already working an 8-hour shift, you can't work no more than 6 hours.
Right. What was it?
And that's why Port Authority's having trouble covering their routes right now
What was
because
it?
of that law.
Wasn't it 8 on, 6 off?
It used to be 8 on, I think 6 off, and then you could do another 8. I'm not sure how it works now, but I know when I was doing Lyft, I had to go to the main Lyft office to go talk to them, the local office here, and there was a woman in there. She was screaming at this lady behind the counter at the Lyft office. She was going on and on. I got 4 kids at home. I'm a single mother. I got to be out here. I work 16 hours a day or whatever. And the lady said, you can't do that. Lyft's going to shut you down. You're a commercial vehicle, okay? And you can only work 14 hours. That's it. And after that, you have to be off for 8 before you can log back in. I don't know what part of this you don't get. Well, she goes, well, you don't get the fact that I have 4 kids at home. I mean, and but again, that's the new commercial laws now. You're only allowed to work up to 14 hours, and then you got to take off for 8 or 10.
Yeah, because when we were doing it, I mean, I knew it was on. I knew it was on 8 and off 6,
Yeah,
or off 7 or
and
something
now
like that.
you can work up to 14 hours, but you got to be off 8 hours or 10 hours, something like that.
I mean, that's not. I mean, they kind of like almost doubled that 8 on. So I mean, 16, it'd be double that, but but still, that's not bad. I mean, and on top of that too, you think about this. With the 18 coming on at 18 years old, I understand because they have to train you for the CDL and all that stuff, and I get all that. And I know some people coming in at 21 or 22 don't even have a CDL, so they have to get some miles that way too. But they figured maybe the older the driver, a little bit the seasoned more seasoned behind the wheel on the common sense drive behind just regular residential vehicle before they go into the CDL
Right.
part.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that's a way in 50-50 on that. 18, you've got to really get wet behind the ears and get out there and really get some miles on the road. Maybe 21, 22, 23, you got a little bit more years on it. I mean, that can go both ways on that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Bill, any more for things you think people need to do for 2024 to improve themselves or something? I think the lazy people need to get up and get out and get a job. There's plenty of them out there.
There
Good
is.
paying ones too, 24, 25, $30 an hour, and
Oh
nobody
yeah,
wants to work. It's terrible. It's really bad.
I really
It's
say I agree with you on that, brother. Put the PS5 controller down. Put the
yes.
Xbox controller down, guys. Seriously. If I, at that age, would have stayed in the house playing Atari 2600, my mother would have ripped it out and told me to get the hell outside and go play. Go play.
Yes.
Go have fun, but go get a job. But also, it starts with you. Just remember that, guys. You can give all the advice you want. You can give all the suggestions you want. But remember, it starts with you. With that suggestion, just think about that for a second. It starts with you. If you have something going on bad at the house, maybe your wife, girlfriend, fiance, whatever, and you take that out on the road with you, there's going to be a world of problem right there. It really is. If you know how to leave that stuff behind, go ahead. Be more common sense. Give more road care than road rage. Absolutely.
Yeah, there was a lot of this past year too, a lot of murder suicides.
Yeah,
Couples
exactly.
having arguments and fighting and shoot the wife and then kill themselves, and that
Yeah,
was going on.
yeah,
That happened. That happened to me with the caregiving company that I had. The woman that owned it, she was making more money than her husband, and the husband got jealous. Came home one day. She was coming out the door to greet him. He was coming home from work or wherever he was coming home from. He walked right up to her and shot her. And right after he shot her, he shot himself.
that's so
Okay,
sad. That's just so sad.
it is. And there's a lot of that went on this past year. I
Yeah,
mean, you have a lot of those things that go on. You have men killing women, couples fighting, and then you have all that other stuff. And now they have a report out that 3 guys just got arrested for apparently some guy owed them $500,000. They were in business together, and one partner decided to go get his nephew to go kill this guy because he owed him $500,000, and they were in business. So here we are with that too.
jeez, oh, man.
Theft, stealing. It's bad out here. This has been a tough society in the last 4 or 5 years, and I partially blame our president for that because of what went on with COVID. I mean, giving people money, to, and now they're not getting it, and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do now. If you worked before and you decided to take COVID money because your company didn't have a job for you, now your company wants you to come back and you want to sit back and think you're going to collect COVID money. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. And now instead of resorting to going out and getting a job, they're starting to scam and steal off of people. And that's what they're doing.
yeah.
They're stealing it, at stores. Walmart has reported so much theft in 2023. They closed more stores last year than they've ever closed because now they're tired of this theft. If you're in a high theft area, look at the one in Aspinwall. The
Oh
one at
yeah,
the
oh yeah, yep. And
Okay.
that was sad. But I mean, you ain't. I mean, retailers are going to say, hey, you know what? We're losing more than this to keeping the doors open. It ain't paying
Yeah.
nothing.
No.
So I definitely
No.
understand that.
Some
Absolutely.
Walmart said they reported billions and billions of dollars in theft losses. But then again, they're having trouble finding people to guard the doors. We went to the one out in Moon, and there was nobody at the door. We could people could have walked out with anything. There was nobody there to stamp receipts. There was nobody there to look at nothing, to greet you coming in or going out. Excuse me. Some of them there are.
Gotcha.
Some of them there are because you have people who, and some of them where it's bad, like the one out near where you live, on the way out north for sales. I went in, we were in there that one night, And there was a guy sitting there looking at receipts, stamping receipts, making sure everybody had something.
Yeah.
And I've seen that at some of the stores, and now what they're doing at the Walmarts, if you've been to one lately, you have to walk through like a semi turnstile. It's like a little open gate, and you can only go in one way and come out one way. And then where the pharmacy is now, they have a gate there, so you can't go in that way. You have to go in through the store to get to the pharmacy now. You can't
Oh,
just go in and turn right anymore. That gate,
okay.
it's locked. You can only come out, and there's a gate there. It's like a little gate.
I haven't been there, so I'm sure I'll
What you
find.
can do what you can why they're doing that is because people have been stealing out of the pharmacy and running out the door with it, where that way they could take the gate and lock the gate up automatically and stop you from leaving. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
Gotcha.
That's why they have them. The one in Robinson, the one in West Mifflin,
Oh,
and I think the one in the Mills has it like that now. They have the gates, you go in and the gate opens up. Okay, and then you come out and the gate opens up, but you can only go out that way. You can't go in and out cross, can't do that anymore. And then they
gotcha.
have a where the pharmacy is. So if you go in the pharmacy exit or entrance expecting to just make a right to go in there, you can't do it. You have to go into the store and go around. That's how
Gotcha.
you have to get in there to
Gotcha.
get
Yeah,
that.
I guess if I start going in more Walmarts, I guess I'll find those as I
Yeah.
go.
Oh yeah, you'll see them. Yeah, they're there because I've seen them. And that's one way to deter some theft, but that it's not going to deter the whole thing. And then I hear now Walmart's getting rid of their self checkouts because that's where 90% of their theft is happening. I
Really?
don't get that. I just don't understand how that happens at a self checkout. So But
Gotcha.
anyway, any final thoughts, Bill, before we wrap up here? We got about 4 minutes left in the show.
No, I just want to say to everybody out there, seriously, a very, very healthy, safe, and most prosperous new year to all the listeners, the viewers, everybody out there. We greatly appreciate you. Let
Yes, absolutely.
2024 get kicked in the ass and let it skyrocket you to unlimited potentials. Thank you guys for everything that you guys do for us, and we do. We really appreciate you, and that's all I got to say, brother. I'm very happy with the listeners and everybody else. But until probably next week, my brother, we'll definitely we'll be back on an hour for next week. But thank you
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Next week we're on for an hour. Today was a special 2-hour edition. We wanted to know what your plans are for 2024. How do you plan on straightening up your life? You plan on doing some different things, or you're going to do the same thing you always done in your life? And there's a lot of people out there that go the same old stuff, different year, and all that other stuff. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, brother, it was definitely fun kicking off 24 for 2 hours. I loved it. It was a great show, I think.
Oh, absolutely. So,
All the listeners and the viewers, appreciate you.
all
Definitely.
right. For Bill Cannata, I'm Ralph Williams. It's been a great show. We'll talk with you next week. We'll be back at our regular time at 7 o'clock right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter platforms. Don't forget tomorrow, 4 to 6 p.m., Beaver County Radio, the Year in Sports Review Spectacular. 2 hours long. We're going to talk about the year in sports of 2023. Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, high school football, Pitt Panther football, all kinds of stuff we're going to talk about. I have a great panel. Luther Dupree, Claudia Rosano from Still City Sports World and the Boxing Authorities, Brian Pasquale from the new show that he has coming on Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Beaver County Radio called One Man's Opinion from the former Hey Peanut show. Brian Pasquale will join us. We also have JT Toth from the Draft 412. And we also have national guys coming on, Keith Engel from TGI Sports and Artie Source from Galaxy Sports, all coming on 2-hour the year in sports review spectacular with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Beaver County Radio 99.3 FM, 12:30 a.m. live on Beaver County Radio's YouTube channel, Facebook page, and a whole lot more. Also live on our website, on our app, and www.rwmedia.org. Look forward to you listening or watching tomorrow. And until next week, for Bill Cannata, I'm Ralph Williams. Have a great one. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm mad as hell, and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They ain't us. That ain't my America. That ain't my America. It's to the women and men in their hands that hold a Bible and a gun. And they ain't afraid of nothing when they're holding either one. Now there's kids that can't pray in school, $100 tanks of gas. I can tell you right now, this country ain't supposed to be like that. No, that ain't my America. That ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam all on the Sam, but I ain't letting you. Yeah, I'm mad as hell, and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They